very good evening to you on this beautiful Thursday night. I'm just sitting here and waiting for you, just going around in circle and circle and circle to load so I can get started. And I thought I'd start down straight on the mat because I have to be in the BeadClub at 7 o'clock. So I really want to make sure that I get through this project with you. I just love these bricks, how like they just sit in a chevron pattern. I think they're just so pretty. Very easy pattern to do. We're gonna start straight with the clasp on, and then by having the clasp on straight ahead, we got something to hold on to as we're doing our stitches. It's kind of give us a really nice starting point to it all. So I'm just gonna pop you over to the website and then show you on the website where you can find them. So what we have, let me just bring this up, just give us 1 second. Wrong window. There we go. So I have been running around a little bit just sort of before I sat down to do this, so please bear with me. Right, okay, I'm sharing my screen. There we go. Right, okay, so we're gonna go by now you know the drill, totallybeads.co.uk. Let me just click over on back on the main part of the website. So from here you're going to go into jewelry making and click on video tutorials, and as you scroll down you're going to find it. Sometimes it appears in the very at the top and sometimes it appears further down. It's Hermione bracelet it's called, and I'm going to click onto it. You've got so many different colorways for you to choose from. I really do love, I just love all the different colorways you can create in this one. Right, okay, so I am gonna turn you down and we're gonna start stitching. So you have got, check it out on the website. They all there. Right, okay, so we got all these beautiful colors. Very easy technique. So we're gonna get started. I don't know, I'm just thinking which color should I demo with. There's so many nice colors here. Shall we do with a blue one? Oh, Roxy just came in. She was shut out of the room and then they just let her in. Shall we do the blue one to go with my top? I think that would be quite nice. I do this one to go, or this tealy one. Let's do the tealy one or the blue one. Which one shall we like? I think the blue one will go nicer with my top. So while I'm gonna pop these on my mat, I'm gonna come and say hello to everybody. So good evening. All these buttons are like all over at the moment. for I don't know what's happening on my screen. Good evening, Edward, Rachel, Jan, Sherry, Anika. Good evening. Right, so we're gonna use the bricks. Now the bricks, the Czech bricks, they do have got 2 holes on them, and this is what I love the most about beads, or 2-hole beads, because they bind the pattern together. I don't need any more, and we need the crystals as well. So they bind the pattern together to hold as you go along. They hold all the beads, all the sort of the rows together, and really easy to work with. There are so many different 2-hole beads out on the market. I think we stuck probably about 40 50 of them. I kind of stopped counting after a while. We got so many, and I'm just gonna grab a thread and a needle and we can get started. So this one starts straight with the clasp. We're gonna start straight working on the clasp itself. Maybe this color is better. Yeah, that one is a bit too tealy. So I'm going to zoom in more. Good evening, Amy. Olimin is here. Nice to see you. Right, okay, so with this one, we're going to start straight on the clasp. So, which means I'm going to start stitching the bracelet. I'm going to start on the clasp itself. Come on. Come on, needle. If you believe it or not, I came across a needle today. It didn't have an eye, and I tried to thread it, and it was really funny because I thought, like, I put my glasses on. I taken my glasses. I was trying to thread it and it didn't actually work because it didn't have the eye was kind of sort of blocked. Okay, so we're gonna start by we're gonna pick up one seed bead, and then we're gonna go on and we're gonna go through the loop on the clasp. Then I'm gonna come back through that single seed bead. So I'm trapping the loop on the clasp by that single seed bead. We're going to come backwards and forwards, so it's going to sit there nice. Just a second, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more. So from here, this is what I have so far. I'm going to pick up one brick, and when I pick up the brick, I usually turn the brick towards me. So I pick it up, turn it towards me. I'm going to turn it to the camera as well to see through the other hole, and then pick up another seed bead and another brick. Again, I'm going to turn it towards me just to look through that hole, just to make sure there is nothing in there. There's nothing in there blocking it. So I'm going to let these go down. And now I want to go through the first brick I added, but I'm going to go through the free hole, and I'm going back towards that single seed bead. So I'm trapping these lot together. I'm going to pull it up nice and tight. I'm going to suspend this on my finger so it's not going to, and then already the bricks are sort of kind of start to sit in that pattern. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this first loop here, just like that, but on the inner side. So I'm kind of sort of going in between the two loops side, the inner side, and I'm gonna come back through that brick which I was coming out of, and I'm gonna pull this up nice and tight. So far we got kind of sort of a half element here. Now what I want to do, I want to anchor this to the second loop as well. So I'm gonna pick up two seed beads, and I'm gonna come through the second loop on my clasp. Just like that, and I'm going to pull this up nice and tight. Then I'm going to go back through, but I'm only going to go back through the one seed bead. So I kind of have got now the start of the pattern anchored to both of the loops on the clasp. Let me just move this a little bit. So if I move the seed beads out of shot, maybe the camera will focus on my hand better. Sometimes the camera doesn't know what to focus on. There we go. So the next step from here, we're going to pick up a crystal. And as I picked up the crystal, I'm going to go away in the free hole in that brick bead. There we go. So I hope sort of so far it's quite easy to do. Now from here, we're going to start building the pattern. And what we're going to do is, as we sort of going to weave backwards and forwards, adding all the beads we have got on there, the seed beads and the bricks and the the crystals as well as we go along. But it's always the same step, going sort of, doesn't matter which side you're going, you're always going to be the same two steps. So the first one is, as I'm coming out of this brick, I'm going to pick up one seed bead and one brick bead. Again, I'm going to turn it to have a look if the other hole is free, and then I'm going to go through the seed bead on the other side here. I'm going sort of away from the middle, and once I'm there, I'm going to pick up a crystal bead and I'm just going to come back through the brick itself, the free hole, towards the middle of the bracelet. And from here, I'm going to pick up a seed and a brick, and I'm going to come through the seed bead here. Again, going from the middle away from my bracelet. Then I'm going to pick up a crystal and I'm going to go through the free hole on the brick. And this is as easy as it. We're going to do all the way down. So I guess I confused you with the clasp right at the beginning a little bit, but it's a very easy stitch going all the way down. I'm either adding a seed and a brick, or I'm adding a crystal bead. Very, very easy. Now, you need to try to keep a tight tension. However, we'll run around it later on to pull it together a little bit more. But if you keep a tight tension, it's actually quite good. So a seed and a brick, going through that seed. Oh, I don't want a knot. Now let me know if you have done this pattern before. And there we go. So when you get a little knot, sometimes it's quite hard to pull the knot apart. I can't speak tonight. So I'm going to get another needle. I'm going to show you how to sort of undo knots very quickly. So I'm going to stick one needle into the knot sort of from one way, and I'm going to unpick the knot from the other side with the other needle. It doesn't matter which one you stick it down with, but this is the easiest way to unpick the knot itself. Otherwise, when you're pulling just with one needle, you're always pulling it. You can pull the knot tighter and tighter. So there we go. I'm just gonna pull this nice and up. So if you pull your thread up, and for example like this, you have got quite a loose pattern there. What you need to do, you always need to step back. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull on the crystal, which we tighten up those 2 rows before, and then I'm gonna pull on my tail to tighten up and pull the crystal in. So now, once again, I have got a nice and tight tension there. So I'm picking up a crystal, going to the brick. Not done this before, but look forward making it, Jenny's saying. The pattern has a nice rhythm, yes. You could make something like this wider as well if you started on a bigger clasp, and you could have more than one row of the chevron in there. I just like this one. It probably gives you like 1/2 inch worth of sort of fabric like strip, like sort of watch strap size strip of beadwork. And I love these because they're so flat, so they're only 4mm tall. So if I show it to you from the side, they're so comfortable to wear. Like sometimes you don't even realize they are on there. And just going through. Now what I usually do when I do this, I keep sort of turning my beadwork around, so I'm always kind of stitching away from myself, because that's how I kind of sort of stitch faster, I think. But we all have our own rhythm, how we kind of work with our pattern. Well, I'm going to keep going backwards and forwards, just adding this thread tonight. It's really trying to knot. It's a while since I have used bricks in a project. I absolutely love bricks. I absolutely love all sorts of different 2-hole beads. I think they all have slightly different characteristics, and they fit together slightly differently. I love bricks. I think they are perfect for so many different patterns you can do with them. They can give you sort of a nice spacing. So I'm going to add a few more here. And then come back. Seed and a brick. And just sort of keep on going. Now you need to do your desired length all the way. Whichever length do you need. I'm just going to add a few more, and then I'll show you. It's going to be a very tiny bracelet. I think we did a very tiny bracelet last week as well. I'm just sort of conscious of the time, but you're going to be doing the same over again. So either adding a seed bead and a brick, or you're adding a crystal as you go along. Very easy pattern. I just want to do enough so I can kind of sort of wrap it around my my finger here. And I just picked up a crystal. I was saying you either pick up a crystal and a brick, and I just a seed bead and a brick, or a crystal, and then I picked up a crystal instead of a brick. So seed bead, brick. I think tonight is there must be something in the air. Right, and then crystal, there we go. But it happens to all of us. I'm going to pull back on this. So I think that maybe a few more, so we can nicely turn it around. So seed and brick. Carol saying love that Carol, love that color. Would you recommend waxing the threads first? So I'm using Supalon. I don't really use wax on Supalon because it's kind of pre-waxed. And what happens when you wax thread is that the wax actually fills up the hole on the needle. And as you're using it, you can like block the needle, and there's plenty of different things you could do, I guess. You could put your needles in hot water to try to get the kind of like the blockage out of the eye. But the smaller the needle, the smaller the eye as well. So I do use Supalon, but there is so many different threads out there now on the market, and they all have got, you know, some people like to pre-stretch the thread as well. There's all sorts of different things that you can do, and people do. I just use the Supalon, and I don't really do anything special with it. I don't sort of wax it, and it's always been good. This thread tonight, I think it must be twisted. It's trying to get knotted. Right, so let's imagine we have done 7 inches of this beadwork, and we are on the other side and we are ready to add our clasp on. So what we're going to do then is, as you get to the other side, and it doesn't really matter kind of which side you stop, what you want to do is reverse kind of what you have on this side. So as I'm coming out of this brick, I'm gonna fold this over. So if I had this long length of bracelet, I would fold it over, make sure there's no twisting in it, because I'm going to be connecting this to the clasp here. So as I'm coming out of this brick, I'm going to go through the loop on the clasp and just pull that up. I'm going to let this turn around, and then I'm going to come back through that brick. I'm going to come back through the crystal and the seed bead, and the seed bead as well, and then into the other hole of the brick bead. I'm sort of trying to hold it, that you can see it which way I'm going around. There we go. I'm going to pull this up, and then from here, what I'm going to do, I do want to go into the same hole, but sort of the inner side of that hole. I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, and I'm going to go through that hole again. So I'm kind of honoring that slope, or sort of that on the brick itself, and then I'm going to come back to that seed bead, back to the brick bead as well. There we go. And I'm gonna follow my thread path around, and I want to come out of this side, that brick just over there. into the crystal and the brick. And the seed bead. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads. And I'm going to go to the other loop. Come on. And I'm going to come back through the 2 seed beads. Just pull this up nice and tight. So when I'm pulling up, so you can see that the kind of sort of the end of the pattern is stays there, stays the kind of sort of as it is. Right, coming through this seed bead as well. And if I had my pattern normally, I would need a crystal on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up that crystal. And then I'm going to go into the outside of that loop. And I'm going to turn this, I'm going to pull this tight. There we go. Come back to the crystal. And we kind of sort of ready to run around our bracelet. Vera, say hi. My name is Vera. First, I'm catching you live from Borgo, Belgium, Los Angeles here. Amy saying, oh, bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love that, like, with the power of technology, we can kind of sort of go all around the world and, you know, just be and do, watch each other and know about each other and each other's lives. Is just so amazing. I think before, like, if you think about it, like 50 years ago, you would have to travel somewhere to meet somebody, and now you can just sort of meet anybody online. Right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to run up and down of the bracelet. I'm going to fill in the gaps in between those crystals. So picking up 2 seed beads, as I'm coming out of this crystal, I'm just going to go through the next one. I'm going to have to twist this bracelet. Yes, it was quite twisted. So if you wanted to twist your thread, what I usually do is to hold my needle just sort of above where the thread is, and then with my other hand I kind of press the thread into my finger there and I just pull it through. And when you lift this up, you can see the bracelet is going to start to twist around because the thread was twisted. The more the thread is twisted, the more it's likely to knot. So it's a good practice to kind of sort of untwist it. And the twisting comes from, as we're stitching, we're turning the bracelet around one way or another all the time, and sort of it come from anything like that, or even sort of pulling it through as you're pulling it through, you're twisting the needle. So I'm just adding 2 seed beads in between every single crystal. Going down, so I'm giving a frame for my beadwork here. 1, 2, there we go. Got just slightly pull this up at the end because where our tail, it kind of sort of come looser a little bit. So let's pull this back. Untwist it. There we go. So 2 seeds. Going through the next crystal, and I'm kind of sort of down at the end here, so I want to, I'm going to go I want to, for the next two seed beads, I haven't got a crystal to go into, but I have got a seed just right there. So I'm going to go to that seed towards the clasp. There we go. And then I'm going to continue this over. So I want to add a few seed beads on the top of the loops here, so they kind of disappear. Now usually 4 seed beads is enough, but sometimes the loops can be further apart or closer together, but I always start to just sort of add 4 seed beads, and I'm just going to jump to the other side and go straight into that seed bead before the next crystal. And these seeds just gonna sit on the top. There is a PDF comes with the kit, and then I'm gonna continue into the next crystal on our mini bracelet here. One, two, and do this side all the way down. There we go. Just adding these 2 seed beads in. Now imagine your bracelet is 6, 7, 8 inches long as you need it to be. I just wanted to see sort of a mini one that we can kind of finish from start to finish. Now I'm getting right down to the bottom, and here I have got my brick bead. So what I can do, I can either kind of sort of pick up enough seed beads to go all the way to the other side and into the crystal, or I could go to the brick bead and just add the 4 beads on top of the loops. It's really just up to you what you would prefer. I'm going to pick up 7 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then pop into the crystal. However, when we pick up 7 seed beads and we pull this through, make sure the loop is going to be on the same side as on the other side. This can sort of kind of come away. Can you see like how it can come away from the bracelet itself? So what I'm going to do here is I am going to go and loop it up. Follow any thread path I have created, and I'm going to loop the loop up. So I'm just going down and following it around until I get into the loop itself. Into the crystal. Now I'm going to go into, let's say 1, 2, 3 seed beads, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take excuse me take my thread just behind that loop. So I haven't gone through the loop, I want to go behind the loop because I sort of going to catch it at the base of it, and then I'm going to stitch through in between the loops, in between the 2 loops. I haven't gone through any of the loops, just sort of in between, and I'm going to pull my thread tight here and come back and go through the remaining of the 4 beads. So with that, what I did, I kind of sort of force tying my seed beads on the top of the loop so they can't move above it, and then I can just sort of continue my thread down into the beads and work my thread off, and my bracelet would be ready, and work the tail off as well. And we're just going to go through a few more beads, and that's it. So we got a very tiny mini bracelet here, but imagine we done more in the middle. But that's all there is to it, really. Very easy, very nice. It's a bit too small to do up. It's maybe good for a ring. Look, it's a ring size almost. Maybe for my little, maybe if I added one more bead on it, I could have worn it as a ring, but it's designed to be a bracelet. So that's all there is to it. So do have a look on the website. Jenny's saying technology is great when it works properly. Absolutely. There's, with me especially, there's always things going wrong. Right, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this. I am going into the Bead Club, and we're doing actually quite a nice bracelet tonight. I got in front of me. I'm going to show you. I love it. I really love this. This is what we're doing tonight, with a little sort of lace in the middle. Really sort of beautiful little bracelet, but that's what we're doing tonight in the Bead Club. So I'm just gonna go and have my din-dins very quickly, and then they'll be in there. So everybody have a beautiful evening. I hope you have a good weekend. What is that color called? So this one is the I think it just says blue. Yes, that's that one. It just says blue on the website, because the other one is teal, and this is the teal, and that's the blue we are just working with. And there's one more which is sort of a more of the darker blue, navy blue, and that one is called evening blue. So blue, teal, evening blue. So that's the difference. But there is many other colors. Do have a look on the website. Right, everybody have a beautiful evening. I am not going to be around for the next 2-3 weeks. Laura is going to be with you. I'm going to be on my holidays, going to Hungary next weekend. So I'm really looking forward to it. Only just for a couple of weeks. I can't have a long break this time. It's only going for a couple of weeks. But thank you so much for turning up and supporting me and watching me. I really love doing this. Everybody have